Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something really cool? We're talking digital fashion and how it's about to change everything.
Yeah, it's wild.
By 2030, get this, every single piece of clothing sold in the EU has to have a digital passport. It's because of this new regulation.
The ESPR.
Yeah, the Ecodesign for Sustainable Products Regulation.
Quite a mouthful.
It is,
Yeah.
But think about it. You're shopping, right? You see an awesome jacket and boom, you scan a QR code and know everything about it.
Where the materials came from, who made it, even what kind of certifications it has. Total transparency.
That's exactly it. And to help us break it all down, we have a true expert with us.
This is Lars Rahbaek from MOJOMOTO. They're right at the forefront of this whole digital fashion scene.
He's been super involved in developing these, what are they called? Digital product passport.
DPPs, yeah. So he's the perfect person to walk us through this whole shift that's happening.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a digital product passport?
It's like almost like a digital birth certificate for your clothes. It stores information about, well, its whole life cycle, like from the very beginning.
Oh, I see. So where the raw materials came from, how it's manufactured.
Exactly. Certifications, environmental footprint, it's all in there.
So it's bigger than just sustainability then?
Oh, for sure. This is about transparency, being able to trace things and really giving you, the consumer, the power to make smart choices.
That makes sense. But how does it all work? How can a simple QR code hold so much information?
That's where the blockchain comes in. It's this, well, you can think of it like a huge digital ledger.
Okay.
And it's public, everyone can see it, but it's also tamper-proof. So every single step of that garment's journey, it gets recorded on the blockchain. It's like an unbreakable chain of info.
So no more hidden secrets, no more, greenwashing and brands just saying whatever they want.
Right, because the blockchain, it's like an independent check. It makes sure the info in that DPP is the real deal. It builds trust, and it makes brands accountable, which the fashion industry honestly has needed for a long time.
Lars Rahbaek really emphasizes that transparency, especially when it comes to knowing where our clothes really come from.
Have you ever thought about where the cotton in your t-shirt actually came from?
Not really, to be honest.
But with these DPPs, that information is right there. You scan the tag and bam, you know if it's organic, where it was grown.
You could even know the specific farm.
Potentially. It connects you to the people and places behind the clothes you wear.
Wow. And it's not only the raw materials, right? Blockchain can track what happens during production too.
You got it. Things like fair wages, working conditions in the factories, it can all be tracked to make sure brands are living up to their promises. And there's another piece to this whole verification thing that Lars Rahbaek talks about, third-party certifications.
Oh, right, like Fair Trade or GOTS.
Yeah.
The Global Organic Textile Standard, I think that one is.
Exactly. Those can actually be integrated into the blockchain system.
So it's not just a brand saying, hey, trust us, this is organic cotton. There's actually proof.
That's exactly it. That's what's so cool about it. You cut through all the marketing stuff, all the noise, and the consumer gets real evidence.
I see. Okay, I'm starting to get how this could really change how we shop. But how about the consumer experience? How do we actually access all this information? Do I have to download some special app or something?
Nope, it's way simpler. Remember that QR code we were talking about? That's your key. You just need your smartphone.
So I literally just scan it while I'm in the store.
Exactly. Boom. You can see right then and there if those jeans you're looking at are actually as sustainable as the brand says they are. Or you can compare, the environmental impact of different things.
You could even see if a designer bag is authentic.
Totally. No more guessing games, no more just trusting what brands tell you. You have the power to really decide, to make choices that actually line up with your values.
That's powerful. So this ESPR thing, this regulation that makes these digital passports mandatory, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? Not just for Europe, but for the whole industry, I'd imagine.
Huge. I mean, it's pushing the entire fashion industry towards this, a more circular model, a more sustainable model. And since it applies to any brand that wants to sell in the EU, it's having a ripple effect globally. Even brands outside of Europe have to comply if they want to sell there.
Makes you wonder what other innovations are coming next. It feels like we're only just at the beginning here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Lars Rahbaek even hints at some pretty exciting possibilities. Imagine peer-to-peer clothing resale platforms, but they're powered by blockchain. You could buy something secondhand and know without a doubt that it's authentic. You could know its whole history, where it came from, even if it's been repaired or anything.
That would be amazing. It would make buying secondhand so much easier. No more wondering if it's a fake or if there's something wrong with it that you can't see.
Exactly. Or how about this? Personalized clothing recommendations, but they're based on your values, your preferences. You tell the app, okay, I only want to see clothes made from recycled materials and only from factories that pay their workers fairly.
And then it filters out everything else.
Yeah. You'd literally be shopping your values.
That's next level. It feels like this technology isn't just about transparency. It's about having a totally different relationship with our clothes.
More meaningful.
Definitely. And one company that Lars Rahbaek highlights as a real pioneer here is Pangaia.
Oh yeah. They make those super comfy t-shirt.
They use all these really cool sustainable materials like seaweed and recycled plastic, and they've already integrated blockchain into their supply chain.
They're really putting their money where their mouth is. Walking the walk when it comes to transparency. Big time. They're setting a great example for everyone else. They have QR codes right on their clothes so you can see the blockchain data, the whole journey of that garment, where the materials came from, how it was produced, the whole thing.
It's so cool to see brands like that paving the way. It gives me hope for the future of fashion, that it really can be more ethical and sustainable.
Me too. I think digital product passports and this whole blockchain technology, it really has the power to change everything. And the best part is, it's already starting to happen.
So we've talked a lot about the technology and the big picture, but let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What does all this mean for the average person? For me, for you, for anyone who buys clothes?
It means we're way more in control. We can make choices with our wallets, we can support brands that are doing things the right way, and we can demand more transparency from the whole industry. We don't have to blindly trust what brands are telling us anymore. We can actually verify it ourselves.
So it's about being conscious consumers, about really taking charge of our fashion choices.
Absolutely. It's about making sure our clothes reflect what we believe in. And honestly, it's as easy as scanning a QR code.
It really feels like things are changing, we're at this turning point in how we think about fashion and how we buy it.
Yeah. And Lars Rahbaek, what he says really, really drives that home. This technology, it's not a fad. It's not going away. It's changing everything about how the industry works.
Kind of crazy to think that a little QR code can do all that. It's this tiny thing, but it unlocks so much.
It really is like a secret window into the story behind your clothes. And I think that's what makes it so powerful. It's not just the information itself, it's that feeling of knowing, of being in control.
So to kind of wrap things up here, it sounds like digital product passports, blockchain, this whole thing, it's here to stay, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to completely reshape the fashion world.
Absolutely. Transparency is the future. And that's good for everyone. Consumers, brands, the planet. Everyone wins.
And for anyone listening who's maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this tech stuff, just remember, it all starts with that QR code, that little square on your tag.
It's like a portal to a smarter way to shop, a more conscious way to think about fashion. It's the future right there in your pocket.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have one last question for everyone out there. How do you think digital product passports will change how you shop? Will you be scanning those codes, looking for those brands that are, leading the charge here?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And as you head back to your closets, just remember, the future of fashion, it's in your hands. Make good choices.
Conscious choices.
Choose transparency. That's a wrap on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.